seventh grade, like, so I guess junior year of high school, and that shit was like destroyed. And like I've had
This one's been fine. Like I've had this one since I went to West Virginia.
I've had this one since senior year of high school. It's literally brand new.
That's funny. Rich broke with that one. I would walk around campus at ECU with a West Virginia backpack. See, it looks like 30 looks. Like, why the fuck would West Virginia?
I would love like walking around campus with like
Yeah, just people saying stuff.
Welcome to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park as the Hendersonville Honeycrisps play the Pineville Porcupines. Here in the top of the first, we see number 2, Braden Korn, step up to the plate. And here's the first pitch of the game. As that's down for strike number 1. So Porcupines see number 9, James Salico, on the mound here today. As that one's fouled off. So Braden Korn now looking at an 0-2 count. As that one is high and at his head to make it a 1-2 count. As that one's a little outside to even up the count, 2-2. As that one's fouled off behind us. As that one's fouled off behind us again. As Braden staying alive in the count, 2-2. So hot day here in Pineville, North Carolina, about 89 degrees. As that one is hit the left center. And will be caught for out number 1. Now batting number 8, Trent Turner. So with that pop up to center, we now see number 8, Trent Turner, step up to the plate for the Honeycrisps. As that one's a little low to make it a 1-0 count. That one's down for strike number 1 to even up the count, 1-1. As that one's hit to right but fouled. Trent Turner looking at a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside to even it up, 2-2. Fouled off behind us. As Trent steps off for a second, still eyeing a 2-2 count. Fouled off into the netting as Trent trying to stay alive in this count. As that one was close to hitting Trent to make it a full count now. Trent luckily got out of the way there before it hit him. As that one's hit the left center, and that will be a base hit for Trent Turner. As he thinks about going 2. Now batting number 34, Gray Wells. So with that single by Trent Turner, we now see number 34, Gray Wells, step up to the plate. With only one out here right now, as the umpire calls time to reload on some baseballs. So Gray Wells steps into the box for the first time today. As that one is way upstairs for a 1-0 count. And that's thrown back to first as Trent Turner was showing a pretty good leadoff there. As that one is hit to short, misplaced by A.J. Anderson. Now batting number 5, Jackson Duchesne. So now we see number 5, Jackson Duchesne, with runner on first and 2 outs here. As that one is fouled off to left. As that one is a swing and a miss. So 0-2 count to Jackson. And that is hit past first for another base hit. Sound like a broken bat. As thrown quickly to third. Runners in there safely. Now batting number 7, Kyle Andrus. So with runners on the corners for the Honeycrisp, we now see number 7, Kyle Andrus, step up to the plate with 2 outs here. Porcupines hoping to get this last out quickly to keep it a 0-0 game. As that one's down for strike number 1. And that's down for strike number 2. And that one's a little outside to now make it a 1-2 count to Kyle. And that one's outside to even up the count, 2-2. And that one's outside to make it a full count. That was a good stop by Jackson Hugas. The runner could have scored if it went by. So full count, here's the pitch. As that's ball number 4. Now batting number 50, Joshua Morgan. So now we see Joshua Morgan, number 50, the designated hitter for the Honeycrisps, step up to the plate with bases loaded and 2 outs. As that one's high, early 1-0 count. As that's down for strike number 1. Even count, 1-1. Porcupines hoping to get this last out and leave runners stranded. As that one's inside. So 2-1 count. Inside, 3-1 count. As that one is called strike to make it a full count now. And Joshua Morgan thought that was a ball. He was already headed to first. As that one is high, so that will walk in a run for the Honeycrisp. So Honeycrisp on the board first, 1-0 over the Porcupines. Now batting number 10, Kenny Pridmore. So now we see number 10, Kenny Pridmore. As that one's inside, 1-0 count. Still bases loaded here for the Honeycrisp, 2 outs. As that one's inside again, so 2-0 count to Kenny. And that one's down for strike number 1. So 2-1 count. That one will be fouled off over the Honeycrisp dugout. So even count, 2-2. As that one's down for strike number 3. And that will do it at the top of the first as the Honeycrisps have a 1-0 lead over the Porcupines. We'll see you in the bottom of the first as Porcupines take the plate for the first time. See you then. Welcome back to the broadcast here in the bottom of the first inning as the Honeycrisps have a 1-0 lead over the Porcupines. Leading off for the Porcupines, number 8, Cam Farrell. As that's hit hard, and that will go into right for a base hit. Now batting number 10, Derek Fay. So after that base hit into right, we now see number 10, Derek Fay, step up to the plate. As that one is down for strike number 1. As that's quickly thrown back to first, but Cam will get back there safely. So 0-1 count to Derek. As that is hit hard to right, but foul. Oh, 2 count to Derek. As that is going to be hit to center for another base hit. So runners on first and second. Now batting number 21, Jackson Hughes. So now we see number 21, Jackson Hughes, after back-to-back singles for the Porcupines. It's down for strike number 1. Oh, 1 count to Jackson. Here's the pitch. That one's high, even up the count 1-1. As that is down and into the dirt, so Jackson's now eyeing a 2-1 count. As that's popped to short and thrown to second and back to first, and they will get 1 of 2 outs. Now batting number 31, Ethan McLean. So Porcupine runners on the corners. We see number 31, Ethan McLean, step up to the plate. As that's hit hard to first, bobbled but stepped on the bag for out number 2. Now batting number 34, Chris Manriquez. So now we see number 34, Chris Manriquez, with runners on second and third. That's a little low, so 1-0 count.
There's a guy in like the Sunday Day team. He's like a rare for a team. Straight up looks like a white grandpa. And Max, but he's 100%. Looks like grandpa just like a black guy. He runs a coal mine next.
As that's down for a strike, so even up the count 1-1.
Dark Cubans and yeah, I had dark Cubans. Yeah. Dominicans, all white. Yeah. Puerto Ricans, and a mixture of both. If you get some of the ones that are a little light.
As that one's a little low. So Chris now looking at a 2-1 count. As that's down for strike number 2 to even up the count 2-2. 2 outs here. Runners on second and third. As that one's high to make it a full count. Cam Farrell's on third. Hoping to come on in to tie this game up 1-1. That's a ball, so that'd be a walk. Now batting number 27, Lucas Martino. So now we see Lucas Martino, number 27, with bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. As that one will be popped up. Who wants it? And it will be caught for the 3rd out. So as we head to the top of the 2nd, Honeycrisps 1, Porcupines 0. So welcome back to the broadcast in the top of the 2nd inning as we see number 18, Colin Engel, step up to the plate for the Honeycrisps as they have a 1-0 lead over the Porcupines right now. As that's a swing and a miss for strike number 1. As that one is fouled off into the net. 0-2 count. As that one's low to now make it a 1-2 count. As that one's also low to even up the count, 2-2. As that's hit hard down the third base line, but foul. So Collins steps back up to the plate, eyeing a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. As that's a swing and a miss for out number 1. Now batting number 6, Matt Ketchen. So now we see Matt Ketchen, number 6, step up to the plate with 1 out, no one on.
Yeah, I mean, I like even like I know after the high school, after the basketball, like my parents would come.
As that one's down for strike number 1.
Whoa. That wasn't a strike?
As that one is called ball to even up the count 1-1. And down the middle, so 1-2 count.
It's not even that, dude. Parents just go just to see. They don't even care. They just know you're there, but at the same time, they can just see.
2-2 count.
That's actually kind of tough from the off. They were all yelling at him. We did like the 2-2, but it's like he like threw up.
That's outside. So full count. As that's strike number 3, out number 3. Now batting number 2, Braden Korn. So now we see Braden Korn, number 2, top of the lineup, comes back up for the Honeycrisp with 2 outs, no one on. As that one is inside, so 1-0 count. As that one's cranked into left field, and that would be a base hit. As Braden goes for 2, and that will be a stand-up double. Now batting number 8, Trent Turner. So after that stand-up double by Braden Korn, we now see number 8, Trent Turner. As that one's outside for a 1-0 count. As that one's hitting the center, and that will drop for a base hit as Hendersonville comes in to score. Now batting number 34, Gray Wells. So now we see number 34, Gray Wells, step up to the plate as the Honeycrisps now have a 2-0 lead. Runner on first and 2 outs. As that's hit right to Chris Manriquez for out number 3. So as we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning, the Hendersonville Honeycrisps 2, Pineville Porcupines 0. So welcome back to the broadcast as we see number 1, A.J. Anderson, step up to the plate. Here in the bottom of the second inning, as here's the first pitch to him. As that would be down for a strike. As that gets away from the catcher. So 1-1 count to AJ. As that's down for strike number 2. 1-2 count to AJ. As that is fouled off over the Honeycrisps dugout. So still a 1-2 count. If you're just joining in the broadcast, the Honeycrisps struck early, have a 2-0 lead over the Porcupines. As that's down for strike number 3. Now batting number 23, Nick Curtis. So now we see number 23, Nick Curtis, step up to the plate. As that one is high. So early 1-0 count. And another high ball. So Nick's now looking at a 2-0 count. As that is popped up to short and will be caught for out number 2. Now batting number 11, Emerson Monberin. So with 2 outs, no one on, we now see number 11, Emerson Monberin. As that one's high, so 1-0 count. And that one hits Emerson in the elbow. So now we see number 8, Cam Farrell, step up to the plate with Emerson Monberin on first after he got hit in the elbow. And that bounces in the dirt, thrown back to first, but Emerson's back there safely. One 0 count to Cam. Cam shows bunt, and that one's going to be low, so 2-0 count. So Emerson takes off, and he's on second. So Cam's now looking at a 3-0 count. after that stolen base by Emerson. As that one's in for strike number 1. Today's pitcher for the Honeycrisps, number 72, Jordan Searcy. As that one's high for ball number 4. Now batting number 10, Derek Bay. So a little meeting on the mound here for the Honeycrisp as they try to talk things over with 2 outs and Porcupine runners on first and second. So Derek Fay steps up to the plate here. As that one is down for strike number 1. And that one's going to be high to even up the count 1-1.
That's what I want to do. I want like a putter with that fat grip. It's a super strong. Obviously, you just get your putter grip. Just get it grip. Yeah, it's only $15. Not expensive. So like that fat grip. It might be a little bit more than a grip like that, but it's not like crazy.
And that one's down for strike number 2. As that one's hit, and that will be a base hit into right. As Emerson comes in, slides, he's in safely. So Porcupines on the board here. Now batting number 21, Jackson Hughes. So Porcupines on the board now. With 2 outs, runners on the corners for him. See number 21, Jackson Hughes. As that one's high. So 1-0 count to Jackson. As runner goes there. Going home, and he is safe. So Cam Farrell slides in to tie this game up 2-2. So good base running there for the Porcupines.
What was that pitch? Was it a ball or a strike? Ball. So it's 2-0.
So as Jackson steps back into the box, looking at a 2-0 count. Runner on second.
That was pretty gross.
As that one's down for strike number 1.
He has to like kill this thing. Definitely does.
So 2-1 count to Jackson. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. As that one's going to be fouled off.
Oh damn, that's that. Brandon, isn't that the dude who came up here sitting beside Eric? Came over here like talking to me. I feel like he's like staring at me right now.
Where's he at?
So an even 2-2 count to Jackson. As that one's high to make it a full count.
Dude, I'm sure kids are listening to way worse shit.
Just gonna be like, you're gonna have to take calm and shut the hell up. Don't walk yourself off your hands.
As that one's hit hard to center. The will be caught for the third out. So as we head to the top of the third, Porcupines tied this game up. It's now tied 2-2. So welcome back to the broadcast as we see number 5, Jackson Duchesne. As that's outside for ball 1. And that one's past the catcher into the backstop. So 2-0 count as Jackson steps back into the batter's box. As that is popped up, can Chris Manriquez get to it? And he does. He catches it for out number 1 here. Now batting number 7, Kyle Andrus. So after that good catch by Chris Manriquez, we now see number 7, Kyle Andrus at the plate. That one's low, so 1-0 count. As that's hit hard up the middle, and that will go into center for base hit. Now batting number 50, Joshua Morgan. So now we see number 50, Joshua Morgan, at the plate with one runner on first, one out here. That one's a little high to make it a 1-0 count here to Jackson, or Joshua. And that's down to even up the count, 1-1. That is a swing and a miss. 1-2 count to Joshua Morgan. As that's going to be strike number 3, out number 2 here. Now batting number 10, Kenny Pridmore. So now we see number 10, Kenny Pridmore. Runner on first, and 2 outs. That one's going to be low to make it a 1-0 count. Down into the dirt, thrown back to first. He's called safe. From my angle, he looked like he was tagged out, but the on-field angle says safe. So Kenny steps back into the box, looking at a 2-0 count. As that one is fouled off. So 2-1 count now. That one's low and inside, so 3-1 count. As that's hit to A.J. Anderson, thrown to second for the 3rd out. So as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, still tied 2-2. So welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park as we see number 31, Ethan McLean, step up to the plate for the Porcupines as this game is all tied 2-2. First pitch is outside. 1-0 count to Ethan. As that one is a little high, so 2-0 count. As that one's a swing and a miss, so 2-1 count. That one's high, so 3-1 count. As that one's going to be popped up. As that's going to be caught for out number 1. Now batting number 34, Chris Manriquez. So now we see number 34, Chris Manriquez. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Oh, 1 count. As that one's down into the dirt. Evens up the count 1-1. So Chris had a walk at the last at bat. As that one is inside. Chris now looking at a 2-1 count. And that one's going to be hit to shallow center. And that will be in for a base hit. Now batting number 27, Lucas Martino. So now we see 27, Lucas Martino with Chris Manriquez on first. That one is in the dirt. 1-0 count. So the ump calls time. One-0 count to Lucas. Here's the pitch. Down for strike 1. So 1-1 count now. As that's hit hard in the right center. And it's going to be caught for out number 2. Now batting number 1, AJ Anderson. So now we see number 1, AJ Anderson with Chris Manriquez still at first with a pretty good leadoff. As that pitch is inside, almost clips AJ. So 1-0 count. As that one's into the dirt, catcher loses it, and Chris Manriquez will take second. So 1-1 count to AJ. 2 outs. Now runner in scoring position now. As that'll be chopped to third and thrown to first for out number 3. So as we head to the top of the 4th inning, still tied here 2-2. Welcome back to the broadcast as we see number 18, Colin Engel, step up to the plate for the Honeycrisps. As that one's in for strike number 1. If you're just tuning in, we're already made it to the top of the 4th inning, and it's tied up 2-2. As that one's in for strike number 2. Colin looking at 0-2 count. As that one's going to be fouled off behind us. As that one goes behind him, hits the backstop, so 1-2 count. As that one's going to be low to even up the count 2-2. As that's a swing and a miss for strike 3, out 1. Now batting number 6, Matt Ketchen. So now we see Matt Ketchen, number 6. As that one's inside and almost clips him. 1-0 count. As that's going to be hit up the middle. AJ will take it, thrown to first. That's going to be misbobbled. Now batting number 2, Braden Korn. So now we see number 2, Braden Korn. Step into the box here with runner on first. After that chopper to center. Braden shows bunt, and he gets it. And thrown to first with the out. Number 2, but runner will go to second. Now batting number 8, Trent Turner. So now we see number 8, Trent Turner, with sacrifice bunt as runner goes to second in scoring position. And sacrifice bunt made 2 outs here. As runner goes to third, slide in safely.
What's your guys' scoring? Like, is it like before driving score over the
As that one's going to be low. So runner on third here for the Honeycrisps. That's going to be a swing and a miss for strike number 1. Now makes it a 2-1 count. That one's going to be in for strike number 2. 2-2 count now. As that one is chopped in shallow center, and that'll be down for a base hit, and will score in another run. Now batting number 34, Gray Wells. So now we see number 34, Gray Wells. After that blooper into right, scored in another run. So Honeycrisps 3, Porcupines 2. As that one's inside, so 1-0 count. Runner on first for the Honeycrisp, as he's showing a decent lead off there. And that one's inside. 2-0 count. As runner goes, and he will get him. AJ Anderson with the tag, and that's out number 3. So as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, Hendersonville Honeycrisps 3, Pineville Porcupines 2. And welcome back to the broadcast as we see number 23, Nick Curtis, step up to the plate. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Honeycrisp have a 3-2 lead over the Porcupines. As that one's going to be hit to center. And will be caught by the second baseman for out number 1. Now batting number 11, Emerson Monbaron. So now we see number 11, Emerson Monbaron, step up to the plate with 1 out here. As that's down for strike number 1. So even 1-1 count here. Emerson's already been on base today for the Porcupines. Hoping to get back on and tie this up. As that one evens up the count, 2-2. As that one's going to be fouled off. So we still see number 72, Jordan Searcy, on the mound for the Honeycrisp. As that one is fouled off into the netting by Emerson. As that one's hit pretty good into left. That will be caught for out number 2. Now batting number 8, Cam Farrell. So now we see number 8, Cam Farrell, as he's already had a single today. As that one's going to drop low for ball number 1. And that's down to even up the count, 1-1. As that's popped up and dropped in for another single. Now batting number 10, Derek Bay. So now we see number 10, Derek Fay, step up to the plate as Cam Farrell hit another single. So he has 2 base hits tonight as he's taken off to go to second and slides in there safely. So stolen base there for Cam Farrell as Derek Fay steps back into the box with an 0-1 count. And that's going to be a little high. So 1-1 count now to Derek. With 2 outs, runner in scoring position. As that's way outside. 2-1 count now to Derek. As that's down for a strike to even up the count, 2-2. As that's going to be hit. And we'll be out number 3. So as we head to the top of the 5th inning, Hendersonville Honeycrisps 3, Pineville Porcupines 2. Welcome back to the broadcast as we see number 34, Gray Wells, step up to the plate for the Honeycrisp. As they have a 3-2 lead over the Porcupines here in the top of the 5th inning. As that one's foul tip. So 0-1 count. Noah Emig, number 37, on the mound. New pitcher for the Porcupines, as that one's going to be hit to second, thrown to first for out number 1. Now batting number 5, Jackson Duchesne. So now we see Jackson Duchesne, number 5, as that one's fouled off. That one is outside, even up the count, 1-1. That one's fouled off into the netting. So Jackson's now staring down a 1-2 count. Check swing. Called strike 3 very late. Now batting number 7, Kyle Andrus. So now we see number 7, Kyle Andrus, step up to the plate. Here with 2 outs, no one on. Here's the pitch. That's down and in for strike number 1. Fouled off into the netting. So 0-2 count now to Kyle, as the ump calls time to reload on some baseballs. And that one's fouled off again. Count stays the same, 0-2. As that's a little outside. One and 2 count now. And that one's low and inside, even up the count, 2-2. As that's hit up the middle. Thrown to first for the 3rd out. So as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, the Honeycrisps 3, Porcupines 2. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park, as we see number 21, Jackson Hughes, step up to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As that's hit foul down the 3rd base line. 0-1 count.
cheap. But you seen anything about like some like presents or whatever? Or,
High and inside. Yeah, we'll even up the count 1-1, Jackson.
they're trying to like strip away the citizenship of those who are like born here from illegal parents. That's insane. Why would they do that?
As that one's going to be hit to short. Thrown to first for out number 1.
I think it was either Trump or like DeSantis.
Now batting number 31, Ethan McLean.
Just so you know, the music is real quiet.
So now we see Ethan McLean, number 31. So that one is outside. 1-0 count. So 1-0 count to Ethan, as that is bounced off the catcher. And will be a 2-0 count. As that one is low. So 3-0 count now to Ethan. As that's ball number 4, that'll be a walk. Now batting number 34, Chris Manriquez. So now we see Chris Manriquez, number 34, as he had a single in his last at bat. As Ethan McLean heads to second. Stolen base by Ethan McLean. So 1-0 count to Chris. And that one's inside. So 2-0 count now. So as the sun has set here in Pineville, North Carolina, we're looking at around 84 degrees. As that one's going to be in for strike number 1. So 2-1 count. And that one's down for strike number 2 to even up the count, 2-2. As Ethan McLean still on second. And that gets down into the dirt. Ethan McLean will take third base. So full count for Chris Manriquez. As that's going to be chopped to short and thrown to first for out number 2, but that will score in a run. Now batting number 27, Lucas Martino. So now we see number 27, Lucas Martino, as that one's outside. Porcupines tied up the game. So now the score is 3-3 as that one's high and upstairs. So 2-0 count.
Yeah, it was Tennessee and also Virginia Tech played there. That was sick. Yeah, the first of the 8 hammer times they did, which was pretty cool.
As that one's low. So Lucas looking at a 3-0 count with no one on and 2 outs.
Where else? It's automatic that these don't
As that's down for strike one. As Lucas was already headed to first. Thought it was a ball. As that one's low, so ball number 4. So now we have a meeting on the mound here. The Porcupines managed to tie this game up. Score is now 3-3, bottom of the 5th. Now batting number 1, AJ Anderson.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, Tennessee was good.
So now we see number 1, AJ Anderson. As Lucas heads to second, but that one's fouled off, so he will trot back to first. So AJ is now eyeing a 0-1 count. As AJ goes over to the third base coach to talk things over.
Did you play that? Thumbs up?
0-1 count. Oh, 2 count now. As that's going to be a swing and a miss for out number 3. So we'll see you in the top of the 6th. Score all tied 3-3. So welcome back to the top of the 6th inning here. Score all tied 3-3 as we see number 50, Joshua Morgan, step up to the plate for the Honeycrisp. As that one's going to be outside. 1-0 count. As that's going to be chopped to second and thrown to first for out number 1 here. Now batting number 10, Kenny Pridmore. So now we see number 10, Kenny Pridmore, step up to the plate with 1 out. As that's in for strike number 1. As we still see the sidearm slinger number 37, Noah Emig, still on the mound for the Porcupines. As that one's in for strike number 2. Fouled off into the backstop to stay alive with an 0-2 count. As that one's low. So 1-2 count now to Kenny. That one's a little high to even up the count. 2-2. As that's chopped up the middle. And that will go into center for a base hit. Now batting number 18, Colin Ingle. So with 1 out, 1 on, we see number 18, Colin Ingle, step up to the plate here for the Honeycrisp. As that's going to be low. So 1-0 count here. And that's in for strike number 1. So 1-1 count now. As that's a swing and a miss for strike number 2. As that one's going to be high to even up the count. 2-2. As that one's going to be low to now make it a full count now to Colin Ingle. 1 out, 1 on first here in the top of the 6th inning. As that's going to be chopped to second, thrown to first for out number 2 here. Now batting number 6, Mac Ketchin.
He's weird too, because he was like a tall redhead kid. Weird freckles.
So now we see Mac Ketchin, number 6, with 2 outs, runner on second in scoring position for the Honeycrisp. as that was ball number 1. So if you're just joining into the broadcast, here in the top of the 6th inning, scores all tied up 3-3. As that one's down for strike number 1, to even up the count 1-1. That one's going to be outside. 2-1 count. Good stop there by Jackson Hughes behind the plate. As that one's a little inside. 3-1 count now to Mac. As that's chopped up center. A.J. Anderson has it, thrown it to Ethan McLean for out number 3 here. So as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, score still tied, 3-3. Welcome back to the bottom of the 6th inning as we see number 23, Nick Curtis, step up to the plate. As the score is still tied 3-3 here. As that's going to be hit to first and bobbled. That recovered for out number 1. Now batting number 11, Emerson Monbaron. So 1 out. We see number 11, Emerson Monbaron. As that's a swing and a miss for strike number 1. As that one's down and into the dirt to even up the count, 1-1. As that one's down for strike number 2. So Emerson's now staring at a 1-2 count. As that's going to be out number 2. Now batting number 8, Cam Farrell. So now we see number 8, Cam Farrell. As that's down for strike number 1.
He goes like in his little spot and he goes like waits and he goes up like that and he screams it.
Strike 2 called. So 0-2 count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that's low and into the dirt. So 1-2 count now. As that's going to be strike 3 and out number 3 here. As we will see you in the top of the 7th inning. So welcome back to the top of the 7th inning as we see number 2, Braden Korn for the Honeycrisp. As the ump is trying to tell the players to get back into the dugout. As that's going to be chopped up the center. And won't be thrown in time. As puts base runner on. Now batting number 8, Trent Turner. So with Braden Korn on first, we now see number 8, Trent Turner, step up to the plate. As that's down for strike number 1. and throw him quickly back to first. But Braden will get back there safely. So Trent looking at a 0-1 count. Going back to first again. As he gets back there safely again. So 0-1 count still for Trent Turner.
Casino. What is happening? Is the count still 0-1? Yeah. Did anything happen there? What's going on? Come on! It does smell like probably. I don't know where it's
As runner goes. And he will slide into second safely.
Yeah, I saw this one.
So Trent Turner still looking at a 1-1 count. As that's chopped to third. And Chris will throw it to first for out number 1. Now batting number 34, Gray Wells. So now we see Gray Wells, number 34, step up to the plate with 1 out, runner in scoring position on second. As that's hit hard to second and caught, thrown back to second quickly. But he gets back to the bag safely. Now batting number 5, Jackson Duchesne. So now we see Jackson Duchesne, number 5, with 2 outs. Runner still on second. As that one's inside for ball number 1. As that's going to be hitting to left. And that's just barely foul. So 1-1 count. Still to Jackson. So Jackson steps back up to the plate, eyeing a 1-1 count. Runner on second has pretty good leadoff. And that's going to be inside. 2-1 count now. As that's hit hard to third. And runner on second will go home. And that will be a double. Now batting number 7, Kyle Andrus. So Hendersonville Honeycrisps now have a 4-3 lead over the Porcupines. As that's in for strike number one.
You just stole third.
They have a ball.
Sometimes it's strike, right?
No, it's called ball. It's more.
So that was called a balk. So runner from second goes to third for the Honeycrisp.
Ball says ball one.
That was no big sign.
So that's swing and a miss. So now Kyle Andrus looking at a 0-1 count here. 2 outs, runner on third.
This is how I heard it. I was reading it wasn't TikTok while we were there.
Evens up the count 1-1. That one's going to be outside. So 2-1 count. Yeah, that's going to be called a little low. So Kyle's now eyeing a 3-1 count. As that's hit to right but foul.
Kentucky basketball team at his house.
As it's going to be chopped to third. Chris Manriquez will throw it to Ethan McLean for out number 3. So as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, the Honeycrisps 4, Porcupines 3. So welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning. As we see Derek Fay, number 10. As that one's outside, so 1-0 count to him. As that one's down for strike number 1 to even up the count. So that now makes it a 1-2 count to Derek. And then that one hits the corner for strike 3 out number 1. Now batting number 21, Jackson Hughes. So now we see Jackson Hughes, number 21, as that's down for strike number 1. That one's low in the dirt to even up the count 1-1. That one is called low to make it a 2-1 count. Jackson fouls that one off behind us. So as he will step back into the box, looking at a 2-2 count. And that's going to be fouled off behind us again. So if you're just tuning into the broadcast, the Hendersonville Honeycrisps have a 4-3 lead over the Porcupines as we've reached the bottom of the 7th inning. As that's outside to now make it a full count to Jackson. That's hit hard to short, and he can't handle it, so that will be a single for Jackson. Now batting number 31, Ethan McLean. So now we see Ethan McLean, number 31, step up to the plate. As that's down for strike number 1. That one's down and into the dirt to even up the count 1-1. So 2-1 count. As that's hit hard to second, and that will be in there for a base hit. As Jackson's heading to third. Now batting number 34, Chris Manriquez. That's low for ball number 1. with Porcupine runners on the corners and only one out. Chris Manriquez hits it to deep center. And that will be caught for out number 2. And sacrifice fly as Porcupine runners score. Now batting number 27, Lucas Martino. So now we see Lucas Martino, runner on first. And swing and a miss for strike number 1. But after that sacrifice fly, the Porcupines have tied up this ball game 4-4 now. As that one is inside to even up the count 1-1 to Lucas. As that's strike number 2. So Lucas steps back into the box, eyeing a 1-2 count. That one's outside and low to even up the count 2-2. As that one's fouled off into the backstop. The count stays the same, 2-2. As Ethan McLean will go to second, and he's in there safe. So full count to Lucas Martino with 2 outs. Runner in scoring position after that stolen base by Ethan McLean. And that's going to be chopped into right, and that's a base hit as Ethan McLean's heading home. And he will slide in there. And the Porcupines now have a 5-4 lead over the Honeycrisps. Now batting number 1, AJ Anderson. So now we see number 1, AJ Anderson, step up to the plate. As Lucas Martino gets back to the bag safely. Lucas Martino is going to second. And he slides in there safely. And now he's going to third. As he gets thrown out at third. That'll be the third out. So, Porcupines on top now. 5-4 over the Hendersonville Honeycrisp. And we'll see you next. So welcome back to the top of the 8th inning here at Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park as we see number 50, Joshua Morgan for the Honeycrisp, as the Porcupines have a 5-4 lead over the Honeycrisp, as that one is inside, 1-0 count. As that's going to hit Joshua. Now batting number 10, Kenny Pridmore. So now we see Kenny Pridmore, number 10, with runner on first after being hit by the pitch. As that one is low for a 1-0 count. As that's chopped to third and will be thrown to first for out number 1. Now batting number 18, Colin Engel. So with 1 out, runner on second, we see Colin Engel, number 18. And that one is outside to make it a 1-0 count. That's fouled off. 1-1 count now. That one is called strike. So Colin is eyeing a 1-2 count now as he steps back into the box. And that's going to be hit to short, thrown to third. And he will get the lead runner for out number 2. Who's this?
What number is it?
Number 6.
Mac Ketchin?
Now batting number 6, Matt Ketchin.
My friend, named John, that's a big crush on this girl, but wouldn't talk to her. He said he was gonna talk to her for 1 week. So we went and bought a can of spray paint and took my friend's bed sheet.
That's a 1-0 count to Matt Ketchin.
That sheet popping outside of our house. And all of our friends put our Snapchat picture of it. At least 2,000 people at school.
That's hit to right, and that will drop in for a base hit. A runner on the corners for the Honeycrisp. Now batting number 2, Braden Korn. So now we see Braden Korn, number 2. After that hit into right by Matt Ketchin, puts Honeycrisp on the corners, first and third.
I'm sure you guys had snitched at school. We got snitched on. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and baseball players throwing pumpkins off the roof.
That's in for strike number 2.
When I lived in my apartment, we lived on the 5th floor, and we would go to Dollar Tree and buy water balloons and throw them
As runner goes, so let's hit up the middle. And that will be out number 3. So as we head to the bottom of the 8th, Porcupines 5, Honeycrisps 4. So welcome back to the bottom of the 8th inning as we see A.J. Anderson, number 1, up to bat. As that's down for strike number 1. As that's going to be fouled off into the backstop. As that one is high. So 1-2 count to AJ. As that one's high to even up the count, 2-2. And that will be out number 1. Now batting number 23, Nick Curtis. So now we see Nick Curtis, number 23, with 1 out, no one on. As that one's called strike 1. That one is ball to even up the count, 1-1. That's going to be popped up high. And going to be caught for out number 2. Now batting number 11, Emerson Monbaron. So now we see Emerson Monbaron, number 11, step up to the plate with 2 outs, no one on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. As that's down for strike number 1. That one's outside. 1-1 count. That one's also outside, so 2-1 count now.
Sugar was gross in that movie. What was this thing? Something was like
That evens up the count 2-2 to Emerson.
the day like Ryan on the fourth home. You know, like silent and yeah, it's like Jamal. Yeah, but it's like no, that's from like wow.
As that's chopped foul. That's going to be hit hard to left. That would be caught for the third out. So as we head to the top of the ninth inning, Pineville Porcupines 5, Henderson Honeycrisps 4. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park and the top of the ninth inning as we see number 8, Trent Turner, step up to the plate for the Honeycrisp. As the Porcupines have a 5-4 lead. As that one's going to be inside to make it an early 1-0 count. That one's going to be hit back to Sherwood and thrown to first for out number 1. Now batting number 34, Gray Wells. So after that first out, we see Gray Wells, number 34. As that one's down for strike number 1. One and one count now. As that one's inside to make it a 2-1 count. as that's going to be strike number 2 to even up the count. As that's going to be fouled off into the backstop to keep it a 2-2 count. That one's outside. So Gray Wells now looking at a full count here. That one is hit fouled. So staying alive as it's still full count.
No.
Outside, ball number 4. Now batting number 5, Jackson Duchesne. So now we see Jackson Duchesne, number 5, as he had a base hit at his last at bat. Runner on first. 1-0 count. And that one's down for strike number 1 to even up the count. As that one's going to be a hit to center. And it is dropped. So base hit. Now batting number 7, Kyle Andrus. So 1 out, runners on first and second. We see number 7, Kyle Andrus. As that one's down for strike number 1. Porcupines hoping to end it here so they don't have to bat in the bottom of the 9th. As we're looking at 1 out right now. And that one's going to be a little outside to even up the count, 1-1. As that one's also outside, so 2-1 count. That one was fouled off into the backstop. Kyle steps back into the box. He's eyeing a 2-2 count. And that one's fouled off into the netting. As count remains the same. As that one's popped to second and caught for the second out. Now batting number 50, Joshua Morgan. So now we see Joshua Morgan, number 50, step up to the plate. Runner still on first and second. But 2 outs now. One more out, and the Porcupines wrap this one up, as that one's down for strike number 1. As that one's down for strike number 2. So 1-2 count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. As that one's low to even up the count, 2-2. So Clayton Sherwood hoping to end this right here. As that one's fouled off into the netting. As Joshua trying to stay alive here in the count. Runners on first and second, 2-2 count, 2 outs. As that one's outside to make it a full count now. So Porcupine fans on their feet here as we see a full count, 2 outs. Sherwood trying to end it here. As that's going to be popped to A.J. Anderson, thrown to first. And that scoop will end the game. And the Porcupines take this one 5-4 as they beat the Hendersonville Honeycrisps. So thank you for joining us tonight. So signing off with Porcupines win 5-4. We'll see you next time.